Today I'm getting my hair cut by a curl specialist and I thought I'll take you along. I've got about 10 minutes before I need to leave the house, so I thought I'd quickly show you my hair in the before state. So this is what my hair is currently looking like. It really honestly doesn't look bad. I did wash it yesterday, but I only did a quick wash. Then I went to the gym and didn't really properly protect it overnight. So it's a little bit stretched out. What seems to happen with me before I get my hair cut is it goes a little bit limp. The layers have grown out. The ends go a little bit straggly, and I just tend to need to do a little bit more to my hair to make it last and look how I want it to. So yeah, this is what my hair is looking like. I just want to have my layers cut back in, a bit more shape and lift and volume. I am liking the length. I just think maybe just a little tidy up, but we will see. It's actually overcast and I think raining outside today, so that's just typical, isn't it, when you're getting a haircut? But let's go. We started off the appointment by having a consultation where Fran asked how my last cut was, how it grew out, what I liked about it. I said I really liked the length, shape and the face framing pieces that she cut last time, and although it's grown out really nicely, it has just got to a point where it needs a chop. She asked how I felt about the length currently and if I'd ever want it longer than this. I said I wouldn't want it longer as I feel like it drowns me out a bit when it's too long, because if you didn't know, I'm only 4'11". So because I said I didn't want to grow my hair any longer, we decided to take a decent amount, about 1 to 1.5 inches off the length and the layers, so that next time I come in it will be a similar length to what it is now. We talked about having my layers shorter because I really like how this makes like the outer part of my hair bounce up more, but if you have your layers too short with longer hair then there can be a disconnect. So we talked about how to avoid the disconnect just by bringing everything up a little bit. So here I am pointing to where I want my length to sit so she could take that into account, and I said that it always bounces up more, which she already knows. Then we talked about how short I wanted my face framing pieces, and they were looking really stretched out here because of how I'd worn my hair overnight, and I'd also recently cut them at home. So I said that I didn't want them any shorter than the shortest piece, but to blend the rest in with the rest of my face framing pieces and then like the perimeter part of my hair. I also mentioned about how my hairline goes back and how I want my face framing pieces to cover that when I have hair out. She ended the consultation by going through everything that we talked about just to clarify. So I'm getting a little bit cut off the length, my face framing pieces cut, my layers cut back in, and I had a look at the footage and this entire consultation was about 8 minutes long, so it's quite in depth, so we really get a good understanding of what I want and what is achievable for my hair at this appointment. So yeah, on to the cut. So to start off with, Fran is sectioning off the underneath part of my hair. So this is the length of my hair, so there's no layering in this part of the hair. So she's basically just cutting all the straggly ends off, adding some shape back in, and you can see that she's cutting kind of like a rounded shape. I just love watching this because I just think it's such an art. She really just cuts the whole cut freehand, cutting off any straggly curls, any wonky ends, just really to get that shape back into the length of my hair and just make my hair look healthy again. So now just taking a bit more hair down and just cutting the outer perimeter of that as well, just again into a rounded shape, just getting rid of any straggly ends. Watching this honestly just looks like she's cutting a hedge. It really is just so fascinating to watch. Now she's moving on to the layers, and I've asked for long layers because when you have long hair you kind of have to have long layers, because the shorter you go the more of a disconnect you're going to get between the layers and the length of your hair, and I've had that before and it kind of just looks like I had 2 haircuts when it grew out. There really has to be kind of a balance between length and volume when you do have long curly hair, but Fran kind of found like the perfect balance for my hair where I have it just a little bit shorter and then I can have my layers a bit shorter, and that really just gives me the bounce that I like. Now we're on to the face framing pieces, and as mentioned in the consultation, I want to keep the shortest piece as short as it is, but then she's just blending the rest into that front section of my hair, and she's really kind of blending the entire front section because it just flows so much better. One of the reasons that I like to have shorter face framing pieces is so when I wear my hair up I can have these little pieces out. Also when you wear your hair in a side part parting, face framing pieces add like fake volume. So if you naturally don't have root volume or root definition like me, then getting face framing pieces and flipping your parting really just kind of fakes that volume and just gives you that lift. So after she's cut the face framing pieces, she's just checking the balance of my hair, that it's not uneven. Then she got me to flip my hair forward, and I mean, this is an absolute look for me right now. But this again is checking the balance of the hair and seeing where the hair is coming from. So I flip all my head forward, and she said she can really see like where each hair comes from and that it's in the right place. I just feel like I look like Hagrid at this point, so I love that for me. I did consider using this as a thumbnail. And then Fran just gave me a little bit of time in the mirror to have a quick look at my cut before we went on to washing and conditioning. I didn't really get much footage of this because I just wanted to relax. I was telling Fran that here, like I didn't want to film it too much, but I got a couple of bits. So she cleansed my hair with a gentle cleanser, the Tutti Lab one, and then she conditioned and detangled my hair with the Tutti Lab conditioner. And then we went on to styling. So she is applying some gel. This is the Tutti Lab styling gel. I've used this on my hair before, as you've seen on my channel, and I really like it. It's just a really easy one to apply. It's really good for brush styling as well. So she's just applying this gel all throughout my hair first. Then she's sectioning off the first section, and look what brush she has. None other than the Bounce Curl Define styling brush, my favourite styling brush. So I love that my hairdresser also has this brush. I just knew the styling was going to come out really well as soon as I saw that she had this brush. I found it really interesting how Fran was sectioning my hair, so I was asking her about how she was sectioning it, because I thought I would try and recreate this styling technique at home. So I'll be posting another video on that after this one. So to style, she does 2 back sections and splits them into a couple of other sections, and then she moves on to the sides and splits them into 2 sections as well. She brushes each section through a couple of times and then brushes with tension in a similar way to what I do with this brush, and this just gives the juiciest curl clumps. She said that she absolutely loves this brush. She said it's like really changed her like hair styling game. It just makes it much simpler for styling clients' hair. Then after she's styled the side, she moves on to the crown. So she does 1 section backwards and then she does the front 2 sections forward, I believe. Yeah, so she did 1 forward there, and then there's 1 more section in like the top middle, which she brushed upwards for volume and then split, so that will go back with the rest of my hair. Then she got me to flip my head to the side to scrunch it all in. This is very similar to the routine that I do when brush styling. Then I flip my head forward so she could scrunch it, and then to the side again. She then removes some excess water with a microfiber towel, and she really likes to do this because it helps, 1, speed up the drying process, but also she really likes doing this technique because she then adds extra product on top after removing some water. So she finds it really helps to seal the curls in place, and it reminded me that I used to do this technique but I haven't done it in so long, so I might start doing it again. Then we move on to diffusing. That's right, I'm not leaving the salon with wet hair like so many of us do with curly hair. A nice little smile from Fran there at the camera. So Fran is using the Dyson dryer, and although it's small, it does actually give really good results on my hair, and it does dry my hair pretty quickly. I don't think it dries my hair as quickly as the Curlsmith Diffusion because that literally covers so much hair, but I do really like how this helps get right up to the root for that root definition. And something that I find is that Fran gets such good definition at the back and sides of my head, where that's the kind of place that I really struggle to get definitions. Then Fran gave me a little moment to kind of flip my head up, give it a shake and a scrunch, and just help settle it into place in the parting that I usually like. Something that Fran does throughout the appointment is gives a few moments for you just to kind of look at your hair without her being there, so you can really take it in and just see that you like it and see if there's any parts that you want to change. She was then showing me the back of my hair for a back reveal, and I was saying I can't believe how defined you make it at the back all the time, it looks so good. And then we're moving on to the finishing touches to the cut. So once the hair is fully dry, she then goes in and cuts any bits that she thinks need a little bit more refining. So she's going back in with the face framing pieces now that they've sprung up a little bit more. She's just cutting a little bit more off the face framing pieces, and just really any random curls that aren't sitting properly. She's just checking that everything is balanced and all flowing nicely. There was a lot of this, like checking the back, me saying, I can't believe how defined you've got it at the back, it looks so good, and Fran not being able to help herself and just keep cutting a little bit. So yeah, this is the kind of extra part of the cut that is so good. And when I get a dry curly cut, obviously you don't get this bit where it's washed and styled and then cut again, so it's good for me to kind of do this cut every other cut, because I just find that it's just an extra bit that I just find really helps. So I think I mentioned this in my dry curly cut video, but I tend to get a dry curly cut every other cut, so I kind of alternate between a dry curly cut and a full curly experience, which is what I'm getting here, like the cut wash style. I also just want to say that I fully appreciate that not everyone has access to a curly hair specialist, and so hopefully me sharing this video will give you an insight into what goes on at a curly appointment. And if you like my cut, hopefully it will give you some tips on what to ask your stylist for at your next cut. I really feel so lucky to have found Fran. Don't get me wrong, I was nervous when I went to my first appointment with her, but ever since she gave me my first cut, I just knew that I was in safe hands, and I feel so lucky for that. So now she's done all the finishing touches. Again, she's just given me a little bit of time at the end of my cut just to check it in the mirror and just see how it's falling into place. And as always, I just love it. I really love how it's sitting. It's just flowing really nicely and sitting really nicely. So yeah, and I'll see you when I get home. I'm back home and this is what my hair is looking like. Before I started filming, I actually added a bit of the texture boost spray and a bit of hairspray, just because I just felt it needed a little bit more grit. I love the gel that we used, but I just think because my hair was very clean, because I'd washed it yesterday, it was just very soft. And so to get the volume back, I just added a little bit of texture spray, a little bit of hairspray, and then I just diffused it in. And literally that is all I've done since I got back. I didn't re-wet it or anything like that. I just diffused those products in my hair, gave it a shake, and these are my results. Every cut that Fran gives me, I honestly just love it. She knows exactly what I want. I just can't fault it. I've got a really good mix of volume, definition. I've got bounce with my front face framing pieces. They've given me that fake volume, and it just kind of flows effortlessly. I think I said that in the salon. When it's freshly cut and like all the different curl patterns are taken into account, I just feel like it just sits better, it flows better. And yeah, I really like it. I'm really happy with this cut. I feel like because I pretty much always get the same haircut every time I go now, I'm just like, oh, I've got my hair back. I fully appreciate that not everyone can find a hairdresser that's on the same wavelength as them, no pun intended. And yeah, let me just do a little 360. So I'll just give it a little shake at the roots first, just to help it all settle into place. I have a little bit of crunch left from the hairspray as well. Flip it up, shake to get my part in. Looking in the mirror over here. So here it is from the front, the side, and the back. And the other side. So just to round this video up, I asked for a rounded shape, long layers for added bounce, the ability to flip my part in every which way, so to each side and in the center, and of course some shorter face framing pieces. So yeah, these are my results from my curly haircut. I really hope that you found this video helpful as well in terms of what goes on at a curly haircut. So I obviously went for the full one today, where you have your hair cut dry, then washed, styled, and then she went back in and cut any other bits that needed to be cut. You can also just get a dry curly cut, which I've shown on my channel before, which I'll link up here for you. But yeah, I really hope that you found it helpful. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comments, and as always, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.